Good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second day of DSC MENA 2024 Hybrid Conference. I hope you had a fulfilled day yesterday. I'm Shahd, and I'll be here as a tech supporting today. As for the tutorial, I want to introduce you to our first tutor for the day, Samer El Zant. Samer is a program manager at Zaka AI. Here is a short video presenting our dear partner, Zaka AI. And Samer will hold a tutorial under the title Launch Your Career in AI and Enjoy.
Thanks a lot, Shahid, for the introduction.
Thank you.
Um, and it's a pleasure to participate in this conference. I hope this talk will be fruitful for everyone and that we will be enjoying it. Uh, so it's not a research talk. As mentioned, it is somehow a tutorial. So we will be discussing a little bit about how to or what are the AI roles or the AI careers that we are like if you are searching for them, which one to tackle, what's the title that best fits with your profile, what to do to be that person to fulfill the requirement of such position and so on. Um, all what we will be talking about was not existing a couple of years ago. So what we are talking about in details and specialization and like sub-specialization, it was all like entitled as a computer science. Um, but as for now, computer science is when someone tell me that he specialized or she specialized in computer science, I say, okay, computer science, but what in computer science? So now all the world is going toward being specialized. And this will be my first point, like before starting the presentation slide, is that no one can be everything. No one can be uh, in charge of all the roles in any field. So please, when watching any, I don't know, conference, any career development sessions, any career fair, make sure that even if you like a lot of roles, that it's okay to not be all of them, but to be someone who is searching what best fits your profile. What do you want to be? And this is an example that always I gave when doing some like the interviews, that you may like I don't know, an astronomer is something that you like it, but like to be an astronaut is not always the case. And even if you like to be an astronaut, you may not like his position. You may not like the way going there. The same thing in AI. You may, okay, the word AI, the word machine learning, the word deep learning is wow, is, I don't know, is trending now, but it's not always the case. Please make sure to read carefully before selecting any position and before getting into any specialization. I will start sharing my screen. Um, And yeah. Okay. Shahad, please, can you confirm that my sound is clear and my screen is clear? Or any of
Yes,
attendees, actually. Great. Uh, so as mentioned, I'm program manager for the AI certification program at Zaka. That includes many certifications for many data roles. And that's why I will be talking to you from somehow a little bit of experience to tell you how things are going in the market. For sure, I will not talk to you and hear what's AI. I will not give you an introduction and I don't know what, and section number one, section number two. It's just to tell you that it exists a long time ago. So it started like more than 70 years ago and even more. Um, and it was named somehow the thinking machines. One of the evolution of those technologies was the calculator, and then later on it's growing, right? Um, and I know someone like from 1990s who did a PhD in artificial intelligence. I say, oh, what's artificial intelligence? Like it was something that is a title that is very like vague, and no one can see its outcomes until up until like ChatGPT unleashed their website 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. However, there were a lot of research on that field, and the AI was in approximately all the industries in the United States and in other countries. So AI is to make the machine think, or to make the algorithm, or to make the system think or learn. But to learn, you need data, right? So if I will tell you this is a PC, or I don't know, this is a mobile. Okay, so now you know that this is a mobile, but if you have not seen any mobile before and no one told you that this is a mobile, when I will show it to you, you will say, what's that? It's something strange. So this is what we call, what we give an example always for a data, that you will tell your machine that this is that thing. So we will focus on data and AI. Why? Because even as a human, the human intelligence, rather than the artificial intelligence, if you want to compare between them, the human intelligence is based on data. Even if it is not, I don't know, in CSV file or in SQL or in whatsoever, but it's data that we are getting from our parents, from schools, from here and there. So we are getting inputs. Those inputs are data. Those data, the PC can see them as 0 and 1s, but we can see them using our ears, like our eyes. We can smell them, we can touch them. So all of those are data that are coming to this system, right? We are trying to compare between a human intelligence and artificial intelligence. The same thing in computer, we are getting the data into the system, which is the PC. The type of data, as I mentioned, like in a human, is image, is, I don't know, to smell something, to taste something, to hear something. So it is even visual, even like frequencies, audios, whatsoever. So all of those are types of data. And in AI, we are trying to give the intelligence of the human in recognizing the data to the machine. So I recognize from telling me that this is something like that, that it is X, or it is Y, or it is an apple, or it is whatsoever. Same thing in the machine. We are giving the machine all the data, then asking her to use the neurals that it has to proceed and get out the data or the outcome that we are waiting from it. So this is in general the AI. So I will not give more details about it. I believe that all of you, maybe you are expert in this. So we are talking about flour and bread. This is the AI is the bread, but you cannot have a bread without the flour, unless you will do another bread that is from other type. But anyway, so you cannot have a bread without the flour, and this is the data and the artificial intelligence. So the artificial intelligence is taking the data, using the hardware, and build based on this algorithm that is the machine learning or whatsoever we want to name it algorithm to give you this output that we are expecting from it. So when there is no data, there is no work. No data, no work. A data that is having a lot of missing values means that the work have a low quality. A low amount of data means a low quality of work. When we say work here, is the quality of this AI system. Okay, let us dive into the data rules. Just to know, those sessions are like the questions are directly answered, or you prefer to make it at the end? Okay, so Shahid or someone? No? Okay, so I will continue. So the different data rows that we are seeing now during, okay. So let's see if you have any question. Uh, I think if we have a question from chat, okay, cool, great. So let's move on. So the data roles, we don't have something super standard till now. Up until now, there is no a standard exact form of what are the data roles. But we are like the market is more and more getting into standardization of those roles. But until now, it's not yet done. So sometimes you may search for, I don't know, a role in data that can be like confused or overlapping others' roles. It depends on many criteria, but one of them is that a lot of companies are now just want to integrate AI into their system. They don't even know what's AI. So they put like a job description that is anything from anywhere, copy paste, and then you will see, okay, how it comes that a person can do all of those. So this is just a proposition that is somehow common now, at least for a couple of employees, that the data roles can be split into 9 different tracks. We will focus on actually 4 of them that are the most common one. So we will focus on data analytics, on data science, data engineer, and machine learning engineer. Those 4 roles are the main roles. Yes, I know that we have a visualization specialist, and we have a data engineering infrastructure specialist, and we have you have a lot of roles, but we will be focusing on those 4: data analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineer, and data engineer. And let's dive a little bit and see how things are going. The first thing for a like between data science and data analytics, there is a couple of common points. Those common points does not mean that they are doing exactly the same thing, because each one of them have its own role. But both of them are trying to get those insights from the data and to based on those insights to get something. Okay, so when we say insights, why we are saying insight and what does it mean? Actually, just to tell you that when you have a data that is, I don't know, 2, 3 columns with 10 lines, You don't need a data analyst and a data scientist and whatsoever data roles to do it. So no need for all of those. But when you start to have this size of the data growing more and more, then it comes a way that, okay, like analyzing manually is not scalable for such amount of data. And this is what we call the big data. And now the word big is not even fixed. What does mean, like what does big means? Is it, I don't know, X lines or in a tabular data, or is it X images in an image data, or it's what? So what's big now, it will not be big in 1 year. So when we had the floppy of a couple of kilobytes, and now you have a USB with a couple of gigabytes. So that's why the big data is not yet fixed. But um, long story short, to say that those data roles are needed since we are growing the size of data. And the growth of this size of data is due to the digital work that we are experiencing that actually not starts, but it was it started to be visible more and more once the first iPhone was launched. So since that, you know how the spread of those machines is now getting more and more, and like everything is now going to digital things, even I don't know, the lock of the door, the I don't know, the cameras, everything is being digital. So both data scientists and data analytics are aiming to get valuable information from the data, which is so big. And both of them wants to extract those knowledge to get that some findings that, okay, so we found that, and based on those findings we will do this. Both of them should have this statistical thinking in approaching any data problem. And again, the data can be even tabular, number, numerical, or categorical and tabular. So like true, false, I don't know, red, the green, whatsoever, or numbers 1, 2, 3, or with digital points, or data like a signals for audio, or even video with an audio, or image data like matrix when the image will be translated into the computer. So all of those are data. Okay, and one of the most important thing in both of those rules, the data scientist and the data analytics, is to be able to visualize the exact needs from those insights. Yeah, so I have a data. The aim is not to visualize. So when you visualize something, okay, so what does it mean? It should have a meaning behind it. So you can see in this graph something meaningful, not just to visualize to show me that you can do it in colors. This is not a data analyst. This is someone who is, I don't know, who is in the school trying the plot function in the Excel file. There is a difference for sure between a data scientist and data analytics, and let's dive into them and see how it works. For a data analytics or if for data analyst as a person, the first aim is that you have data that are coming, okay? The data that are coming, for sure, they are not clean enough and they are not prepared enough for me exactly as a data analyst. Like they are gathered from here and there and you have received them. But what will you do with them? You will not say that, oh, the data have a lot of, I don't know, undefined variables. It has a couple of negative values where it should not be. I don't know, there is some columns that are missing and so on. So the data for sure, it will not be complete. And in any data role in the future, if you will be there, the main the main time that you will spend in any project is to just gather data and clean data. This is the main milestone in any data related project, because later on analyzing will come later, and even in machine learning, building a model will come later. But to have this data that is clean and clear and prepared, this will take a lot of time. And what do we mean by clean and prepared? So to make it in a useful format. So any columns that you will be using is really what you need. Any row that you are using is really what you need. Any image, if we will talk about image, any audio that you will use, any video that you will use is really what you need. There is no, you are ensuring that there is no bias, there is no missings, there is no like outliers from the data and so on. Based on this, a data analyst will focus on deriving insights, and those insights will be transformed into a storytelling, a reporting later on, and so on. We will see how it works and how the data analyst will optimize his findings to make it way more for an action to be taken. So in here, just you can see that a data analyst what can do, but actually it is way more than this. Types of visualization, up on left, map visualization, then next to it the bar plot, then next to it this type of scatter plot depending on the size of each data point, and so on. Like you have different types of visualization. So a typical days, or we are saying day, but it's not a day. It's more like tasks. Yeah, like it can be in multiple days. So fine, but so a typical period, let's say. You first, as a data analyst, start by defining the goals. Why like what I will be doing and why. Am I working in a like in a company that target to do what? Why I should define the goal? Because if you go to the last point, which is the act, this is what any company waits from you as a data analyst. They wait from you the act that you will propose. What do you want from us based on your analysis that you did on data that we provided to you or that you collected? What are the action to be taken by our company to increase our benefits? What should we do to increase our revenues, to decrease our expenses, to, I don't know, to make it more something to, and so on. So this is the act that you should provide. When you know what's your role, then you understand how you should go for it. So that's why the first thing to do is to define the goal, to know what you should do. The goal is to increase the revenue for such company or for such product or in such country and so on. So this should be very specific and clear. And this may take a couple of time and discussions. Then based on this, you start the analysis process. The analysis process contain a lot of things. The first thing is to collect the data based on your goal. So now you know what are the data that can be meaningful to you and should be there to conduct your analysis. After collecting the data, you should, as I mentioned before, to clean and prepare it, because even if you will collect it by yourself, you may not find it as clean and as prepared as needed. After that, to analyze it and to visualize it. Why we put analyze and visualize together? Because actually it's both of them together. You are analyzing by visualizing. So you will, I don't know, plot a box plot to see how things are going. Then you will analyze them based on this plot. You will plot, I don't know, a correlation matrix between X and Y factors, and then you will analyze based on it. So those come together. And in here, why, like one point to mention that in our mind is a data analyst is someone who can plot images, right? Okay, thank you. No, it's not, because it is even a task of a subtask, right? So it's not everything. Um, a data analyst need a lot of communication skills, and this is step number 3. Okay, you have analyzed based on the visualized and collected and cleaned and prepared data that you have. But who told you that your analysis is the best way to see things? So this is how, when you should go and start talking with the stakeholders, whatsoever are the stakeholders. We like in here, it's a really general word, so it can be another department in your company, or someone from, I don't know, from the same area or whatsoever. So this meeting and connection and communication with them to have this discussion is very needed to have a realistic approach. And after this meeting, or after those meetings, or after those communications, the step number 4 is to evaluate. So again, you are not always visualizing data, is to evaluate based on those communications and the outcomes and of those meetings and communications. Once evaluated, now you are ready to take actions. Those actions are based on a defined goal, a clean and clear data, and clean and clear analysis, a communication and a discussion that that can be very fruitful for you, then an evaluation for all what I have listed before, then you can take an action and tell the CEO, please, CEO, if you want this, do that. And based on this, actually, if you see, a lot of countries now are giving a plan 2040, a plan 2050, plan 2030, right? You have a lot of countries that are doing this, but based on what? Like, they are not like just sleeping and like waking up, okay, I want to do this. Yeah, in 2030. No, it's not. It's based on real data, on realistic action to be taken to achieve this in 2030. Okay, then we move to the data scientist and what a data scientist do. So a data scientist is someone who oversee. When I say oversee, is not mean that he is like higher level, or it's not about talking in levels, but he is overseeing a data analyst job plus a machine learning job. So he is someone that, just in a word, like before going into a bullet point, he is someone who can have a critical mind in seeing data, and he is able to have um, a draft machine learning model. This is how he is overseeing both. So he is using the insights, and we will see later how we can combine all of them and how the collaboration between all those data roles can be established. The data scientist, what he does more is this A/B task, trial, error, trial, error, trial, error, and so on. Because like, he is not someone who is caring a lot about the same thing as a data analyst is doing, but he is more trying to understand and to deliver to the next step, which is the machine learning. Actually, a data analyst, before going to data scientist, data analyst is someone who cannot have any knowledge in programming languages, neither in algorithmics. So it's fine. Like, he can be someone who is having this critical thinking, statistical mind, and to get insights and to analyze. But a data scientist is someone who must have a programming skills. By saying programming skills, I'm not saying he should be a full stack developer. No, he should have a knowledge on programming, means that he can build or use an already built ML model. Okay, this is how a data scientist is bridging between both roles. And talking about a typical, again, not day period maybe, So you will see that overlapping things. So he is asking questions to target in a good way the business problem, and this is the problem that we are trying to solve. He is getting the analysis from the data analyst, plus he is putting his touch if needed. The data exploration from his side also is needed, so he can find that, oh, there is something that we need to investigate about it. So the data is relevant or not, what's the maximum, the minimum, whatsoever, the total number, the count, is it balanced, is it imbalanced? So all of those, a data scientist is approaching them. Then he can build a model. This is what we were talking about. Like, he, after getting this in-depth analysis, he will be able to conduct this solution, or at least to have this prototype of a solution that can be then handed over by a machine learning engineer. So a machine learning engineer is someone who is, again, like, let me, before saying this, I know someone who is a machine learning engineer in a company that he is doing everything, actually. He is starting from the beginning and even being a data engineer that we will be talking about later. But why? Because, but it will not, it's like, for sure, it will not last like this. Because he was the first one in the company, in this department. There were no department actually like this. So he is establishing this department. And that's why, as a first person, as always in any other field, actually, the first person will be doing everything. Then when it starts to grow, the specialization is needed. And this is, even if you find that, I don't know, if you are a machine learning engineer somewhere, or a data scientist, or if you know someone who is doing all of those, even if he is doing this now, but this is not the general rule that will last later on. Okay, moving to the machine learning engineer. He is someone who has this algorithmic mind, having all those algorithms in mind, knowing how to use the models, knowing how to build models from scratch, knowing how to combine different machine learning models, knowing how to ameliorate a model, to make it better, to increase the accuracy. So he is working on the parameters of those machine learning models, even by building them or by modifying parameters from existing machine learning models. His goal is to come up with a model that is working. So the outcome of a machine learning engineer is somehow it can be an API, you know, so or a front end thing that is working on doing this. So one of the things that we can talk about, and I will give an example later, but one of the things is, let's say you have the road safety and the road quality. Actually, for him, the main goal is to detect from an image that exists if this road is safe or not. But before that, how to collect the photos, how to analyze those data, what are the preliminary factors, all of those are done before him. So are done by the data scientist and the data analyst. His goal is just, okay, this is the income, this is the outcome. Input, output. Okay. And the machine learning cares a lot about one thing: how to make my model as much reliable as possible. So how doing that? By increasing the accuracy of the model, by increasing the precision of the model. There is a lot of terms in machine learning algorithms, like precision, like accuracy, like mean average precisions, like a lot of factors like this, that he cares a lot about making them as maximum as possible and to decrease the error. And a typical day and here you can see it like as a graph, but it will he will not care about the raw data as a raw data. He like a data provider, or we will see later on that a data engineer will care about this. The pre-processing, he should not do a lot of pre-processing from his side. Normally, if a data scientist and a data analyst before that, they did this pre-processing and they prepared the data, but he should care about pre-processing it to fit with the created model. So to make it in a comfortable, like in a suitable format for this model. And then this in here is the machine learning algorithm that he cares a lot about it. And he keep on trial error until like a good accuracy has been found. Later on, the model will go for deployment and for application. Okay, as I said before, who is behind all of those data? We said that the AI is like a bread, and the data is like the flour of those for having this bread, for preparing this bread. So who is behind the data? Okay, we have seen the machine learning engineer, the data scientist, the data analyst, the business analyst are like, there is a lot of common between data analyst and business analyst, but we have seen those roles at least. Who can build those data is the data engineer. So the data engineer, how is doing this? So as we said, the example that we have given, like for the road safety, okay, I want to have a real-time check on road safety. And at the same time, I want to report the quality of the road to, I don't know, to the Ministry of Transportation, something like this. But how to gather the data? Okay, I will put a sensor on the road. Okay, who cares about this? The data engineer. Okay, and also I will ask Uber to have a couple of cameras on the cars. Who care about this? Also the data engineer. Okay, I will create a data lake for all the gathered data. And so all of those will be on a cloud. Who care about this and who will be like caring about, and here what you see, the AWS, the Amazon cloud, or the Azure, or so on, who will put, where they will be putting all of those data there, who cares about the data engineer, and so on. So this is the main role of a data engineer. So just to tell you that a data engineer is someone that is like, let's say in a project that you may need a couple of data analysts or data scientists or machine learning engineer, you may need one data engineer. And that's why a data engineer, like the number of offers for a data engineer is not as much as a machine learning engineer. Because of that, actually, as you see this example, let's say, you may have a couple of machine learning engineer working on analyzing and building models for tabular data, for sensor data, for, I don't know, image data, for whatsoever, for the road safety project, but only one data engineer that cares about all of them, gathering the data. But at the same time, the salary for a data engineer is high at the like comparing to others. And a data engineer, to be a data engineer, needs like being a machine learning engineer, you need just this PC, any PC, and just you run an algorithm, and that's all. A data engineer cares a lot about hardware. And hardware, even if it is physical or like virtual, by allocating in others service provider, but cares a lot about this. Okay, so he cares about collecting data, even if he will proceed actually with cleaning data. But the clean data that a data engineer will provide is not enough, is a very first level, level zero, we can say, of data. So just you will not get the viruses maybe or something like this. And for sure, this pipeline, and this is one of the main things that he should care about, the pipeline from collecting the data up until getting the data and somewhere, plus securing the data. And here comes the data security task in the data engineer. Also, you can see, I don't know, another post that is data security is needed. But again, we are talking a little bit about the most common for tracks. Okay. For sure, as I mentioned, the security and the scalability. So the first thing is to know what to do. So what are the data that are required? He needs to collaborate with not only the management, but with also other stakeholders. Then to build this proposal, and from this proposal to have a clear pipeline from where to where are going those data, and those data, when it goes, how it will be putted, how it will be secured, how it will be saved, and how it will be accessible for other data rules engineers. And this is the infrastructure of a like data role. Okay, I will stop here a little bit just to give you a couple of examples. I will share my entire screen to have just a QA. I hope you can see my entire screen. Okay. Can anyone tell me what does this image means? Or what you think it means? You can scan it even and Google it. With Google Lens, it's fine. Anyone can give any opinion on what does this reflect, or what's the presentation it represents? City road plan. Yeah, it is. Like one level more. Yes, it's a city map, right? It's for London, actually. And it was created, just to tell you that we are not the first one to initiate this, is that this is from like the year of 80s, when there were a cholera spread in London. There were a doctor named Snow something. Like there were a spread of cholera. What's the reason? No one knows. So what he does is to check the number of affected person and to put it on the map. So if I zoom in, you can see those blocks, right? The black blocks. This is how the number of affected of cholera are in this area. So you see that in this area, there is a lot. However, if I move there, there is no such. Like in Conduit Street, in Silver Street, in Warwick Street, and I don't know, Savile Street, there is no much. But in Broad Street, in here, so you see that there is much more. So in here we can see it. A lot of affected person. And this is done by hand. There were no, I don't know, Tableau, Python, R, there were no, all of those does not exist at that time. And if you see in those images, there is one critical thing that based on this visualization, he found it. So how he started, he was a data analyst in parallel of being a doctor. So he started by collecting data, as you see in here. So he collected the data of cholera, and then he placed this data and visualized it in a map, and then started to analyze. What he found out, he was looking at the pumps, okay? So you see here the pumps, the pump. You can see in other where also, and here there is a pump, and so on. So there is a pump in this image. Oh, when I zoom out, I lose it. Okay, I will delete them, then redo it. So there is a couple of pumps. This is one of them. This is one of them. Um, this is one of them, and this is one of them, and so on. Um, so what he figured out that near this pump, there is like the most number is here. And actually, there were no studies on that the water is the cause of cholera. But based on this visualization, they took the action and they analyzed it, saying that this pump, the water coming out from this pump, is the cause of cholera. So we should take an action of closing the pump of this street. And really, they do it. And then later on, it was solved. The problem was solved. Just to show you something that okay. So this one, this is the pump, and if you go now to Broad Street, you will find it. This was one of the common examples to give for a data analyst role. One other example for a data analyst role is from the 18 something, right? From the 1869. Who can tell me what's this image? What does this like it shows? Like any suggestion? Chart. Chart. Chart of what? Not the type of it, but what are the information that this image is showing? Okay. I see it's a morning session and it's a Friday, so I should not ask a lot of questions, right? We don't understand French. Okay. Cool. So at least, so it's a chart in French, right? So we know now two things. Um, Let me tell you something. It was in, this chart was drawn in 1869. Okay. So in 1869, it was drawn, and even before, again, before any digital things, it was drawn by an engineer. So why I'm saying this, like I'm saying engineer, and previously I said doctor, just to tell you that in any field there is a data, and in any field there is a data, there is a need for a data role. Even if you are a doctor, even if you are, I don't know, a petroleum engineer, even if you are in any field, there is a need for a data role. Okay, so in this image, what they show is the number of soldiers going with Napoleon from Paris to Moscow. Okay, let me show you how it goes. So he started with 422K soldiers. This is how it starts. Then a couple of them went away. He continued with 400K. Then a couple of them went away. He continued, and in parallel, you can see in here the temperature. So in here, you see the temperature. It was in here minus 26, minus 30, minus 24, minus 20, minus 11, and so on. So all of those will show us why the number is decreasing, okay? Why the number is decreasing. Then he arrived in Upton here with 175K. He reached Moscow with 100K. Then he went back because he found that it was not sufficient to go to Moscow. So he started to go back. And when he started to go back, he reached out Paris. This is the black line for coming back. He reached out Paris with 10K only. So this is to say that all of those information can be provided in an image to let us know what are the factors affecting any decrease or increase in any like data related data set. Okay, so this is another example of a data analyst. I will stop sharing this one and I will share this. Now, I will give you an example of a machine learning, actually, before going, a machine learning example. So in machine learning, I will give now 3 examples, okay? The first one is the election, like the election that lastly happened in Oman. Have you heard about it? There were an election there and it was fully online. No one heard about it? Okay. Anyway, it was fully online and it was using AI. But how using AI? So there were learning engineers behind this. How to ensure that there will be no bias and there will be no fraud coming to make this election. So how to make sure that Samer have the right to participate, and at the same time, Samer, he is the one that vote for that person, or even maybe not for that person, but who vote this vote. So how to make sure that this is Samer, not, I don't know, X or Y, and how to make sure that X or Y or Samer have the right to vote. So all of those work was done using something that you can search for it, deep fake. Okay, so they want to avoid the deep fake using a machine learning system. So the machine learning system is used to compare the ID card with the image, with the like movement in a video, in a short video, and all of them to compare them and to make sure that even the ID is an original one, not something like that is, I don't know, copied on a paper. This is one example. And this example, actually, it will be used more and more in the future. The deep fake is now a trend. Why? Because I don't know if you have seen a lot of videos that you can give your voice to an application in, I don't know, in English, and it will provide you a paragraph that is spelled by your voice that you have not said before and in another language. Okay, but not only like this, also one of the articles that I have read, a person have created a fake, you cannot hear me? Sorry? Can you hear me?
Yes, voice is clear.
Okay, sure. Um, okay, cool. So another example is a person have created a fake ID, a fake French ID, and submitted to open a bank account with this fake ID. And with the system, the online system for this bank, he succeeded to have this bank account opened by the fake. Not only like this, in another country, he achieved to create or to have a passport and an ID card that is original based on this fake. So that's why this is an example of how things are going to know what a machine learning role can be in the future, and even a data scientist. Another example is using the machine learning in the like in any medical fields. So lately, there were a competition on how to use machine learning algorithm on dental data to detect rare disease. So those rare disease, even like a doctor, not all the time can detect them. Even images, even I don't know, they cannot always detect them. And not only for this, but to build a full system that can do a diagnosis for the full mouth, plus a recommendation, what to do, where, how, and so on. And so this is how things are going. And you know a lot of other examples, but just I'm trying to give you an examples from different fields, having different datas. Those two first example. And the third one that I was talking about the road safety, it is already being implemented in a couple of countries. So all of those examples are to say that if you will be a machine learning engineer, you may be working on something like this. If you will be a data scientist, you may be working on something like that. If you will be a data analyst, you will maybe working on something like this. Same thing for a data engineer. For all of those projects that I have mentioned, a data engineer is behind each of them to collect and to bring data. Yeah, I got your question, Muhammad. So fortunately that this person do it for a white hacking, okay, not black hacking. So he do it just for making it for providing more information for those authorities to make it better. So what was done is to reinforce this algorithm to make it better, okay, and to make it like to detect those frauds. Um, lately, one company in Dubai uh, asked someone to join just for the sake of hacking their system. So they wanted someone, they are working on deepfake. So they just hired someone to hack their system. And actually he did. And he was taken as intern. And if he can hack the system, he will be taken as full-time. And he did it, and he is now full-time. But the benefit was like enormous for the company because now they have a robust system that cannot be hacked even by the hacker. Okay, I talked a lot. Long story short, there is a lot of common skills between those data roles, those four main data roles. In this image, you can see how they are interacting somehow in a couple of things, and how there is an interference between them. Like you see the data analyst in red and the data science in blue, and you see how they are interfering somehow. The data scientist and the machine learning engineer are working on modeling and deploying the model a little bit for the data scientist, way more for, so I will put the pointer. So a data scientist is doing some model deployment. Model, we say that it's machine learning model, okay? But the machine learning engineer is the one who is going deeper and deploying it and making it as an operation, ML ops. So it will be more like an operation later on, ready to be used. The data pipelines is for, as mentioned, and the preparation of database and the data tools, all of those, the collection, let's say, is for the data engineer, which is in green. The storytelling and the reporting, the insights, the visualization, okay, like all of them can do visualization, but the main role is for a data analyst. Now, how the collaboration happened between those four different data roles. First thing, as mentioned, the data engineer built the pipeline and like he's collecting the data and transforming it into a way that is accessible by others, securing it and so on. A data analyst can take those data, start cleaning again and doing the analysis, getting the insights, building a problematic that should be addressed. It's ready. Then a data scientist can and take into consideration various business problems. And from his side, he can use some machine learning models, and it's done. Then a machine learning engineer will come to finalize this process and to have something ready to production. This is what we have said previously, just in a recap. Okay. Let's go and see in real life from LinkedIn or from any other platform that they are like you can search for a job there, how things are going and how the positions are offered. So this is a screenshot from a position for a data analyst. You can see in here what's required. I will focus on this one first, the critical thinking, because it's not a task that a CEO will tell you do this, then do that. No, you are someone that have this critical thinking. Please make it better. How? I don't know. Make it better. So then a data analyst will figure it out. So he should be able to, for reporting, prepare materials and so on, presentations, blah, blah. He should be able to analyze the data and interpret the data. So the same thing. And this key strategic questions, what we have mentioned previously, that how to be taken into action and what's the roadmap. Okay, you told me that we should do that. How to do it? Another job offer, also in here, you will see the same thing: reporting, visualization, analysis, curiosity. Okay, so or critical thinking, curiosity, intellectual analysis. So all of those, like you know, right? It goes to the things. In here, they refer that should have a bachelor. So this may comes statistics, economics, math, any engineering, computer science. So they want, why they put engineering, mathematics, economics, statistics. So all of those, because those roles may be having this engineering thinking, this statistical minding. So that's why they may be required. Some tools that are used by a data analyst, and they are well known: the Matplotlib library from the Python, the Tableau, and the Looker, the MicroStrategy, the Plotly, and many other, the Power BI, the spreadsheets, actually, and way more. For a data scientist, he should be able, and this is at Google, so he should be able to visualize and make those displays, but at the same time, you see here forecasting. So forecasting is to use some models, some machine learning models, and to build them to say that, okay, for such type of entries, we may expect such outcome in a couple of years, something like this. And again, he will be able to build a prototype. This is what we said, to be delivered to the next stage. All of them should be able to work with large data and complex data set. This is normal for any data role. Again, for data scientist, here it's mentioned that he should know machine learning framework, analyze data, and have a deep explanation. Again, this critical thinking should be in here as well. But do not forget the SQL and this part, which are also something to be used even as a type of a data set or as a programming language. And by programming, again, programming in here is not to build a software. but rather to deal with data. Okay. As a machine learning engineer, here is now it's becoming more clear and what to do. So to build and to improve and to deploy a machine learning engineer. And this is what an operation of a machine learning will do. So machine learning operations is to go through building, optimizing, improving, deploying, and later on going through the same circle again, unless you are, and you will not achieve 100%, but always you will have to improve your system, even in terms of security or in terms of accuracy. Okay. For the documentation for machine learning engineer is not like for as an analyst. Analyst is someone who is representative more, and he is giving a high level strategies. However, a machine learning engineer is not like this. He is really straight to the point. Another machine learning engineer in here, or just let me. Another machine learning engineer in here that sometimes it got biased. Okay, for the first one, like, I don't know, machine learning algorithm, classification, clustering, all of those are algorithm within the machine learning algorithms. So computer vision algorithm, okay, fine, PyTorch, TensorFlow are libraries within the Python programming language. But one thing that is required in here, the AWS infrastructure. Okay, so normally this one is for the data engineer, but sometimes a machine learning engineer should have an overview about the AWS, but should not be a AWS engineer. Okay, AWS is the Amazon cloud. Okay, so again, write technical summaries for sure. This is always, as I mentioned before, but it is straightforward reporting. Okay. Sometimes you may see a role that is for both. So anyone, please, you are welcome. Anyone that knows anything about AI, anything about data, please apply. Come on, I will do it for you. A data engineer, pipeline architecture, SQL and AWS is a must for a data engineer. The infrastructure and how to build it, how to support it, how to securize it, how all of this from scratch and up until securing the data, up until delivering it to another data role is the data engineer duties. Okay, then we come to the question saying that which data role, which data role you prefer to have. And it's not a question that should be, I don't know, should be answered right away, because no one can answer it now. But this is to say that let's think about being choosing what to select, but not being everything. You cannot be everything. Okay, so hope it was fruitful. Hope it was meaningful. If you have any question, please go ahead. Do not hesitate. And yeah. Yes, I can send you the materials. Okay. So LLM is going again into subcategory of a machine learning engineer. So it's the large language model that if you are applying for a couple of companies, they may care about this. But I don't know how many LLMs we need in the future. So I see that, let's say, ChatGPT. Then we have Gemini. Then we have, what was the one of Microsoft? I do forget. Then another one. But actually, you'll see that all of them by the end of the day, okay, so what? Should I ask all of you if I want something, or should I get? But yeah, the LLM model is needed. So the LLM knowledge is one of the modules, let's say in our program in Zaka, that one of the modules of the machine learning certification. The difference between the is not clear. Okay, let me come back and clarify it. In here, let us focus on the yellow for machine learning and the blue for the data science. Okay, so the machine learning engineer is someone who is writing a code, writing an algorithm to make everything work and to deliver it up until the end. Okay, so he might have knowledge also in back and front end. The comparing this to the data scientist, a data scientist is someone who can use some already existing models to, I don't know, use naive bias to predict something. So it's really narrow in comparing to machine learning engineer. But the main role of a machine learning engineer is to do this model, to deploy it, to make it better, to deliver it. So he is focusing all the time on modeling. They are common in statistically seeing the machine learning model, but in building and deploying and delivering, they are not equal. I don't know if I was clear. So also two things that the data scientist is doing and the machine learning is not, is caring about the data. Okay, this A/B test about the data itself. The machine learning, like, just give me the data, you know. I will check if it is in a good way or not, if it is equally distributed or not, if it is whatsoever. But the data scientist is the one who cares about it. Okay, the prompt engineering. The prompt engineering is someone uh, who should not know anything actually about what we are talking about. Why? He is someone who knows how to deal with the LLM model. So he is someone who knows how to write a prompt. This is what a prompt engine, it's really needed. I'm not saying that it's not important or important, but he doesn't care about the data. Why should he care? He should care about how to make the LLM model respond in a best way. For machine learning engineering or studying data science will be better. Okay, again, I will read it again because so do you think building a solid knowledge in data engineering would be beneficial for machine learning engineers? So you are a machine learning engineers and you are thinking about learning a data engineer or a data science. Is it, did I get the question right? And which one of those is best for this machine learning engineer? Uh, Okay. So if you are a machine learning engineer, like knowing a bit, as I mentioned before, about those clouds systems, so AWS and Azure is good, but maybe do not dive deeply into data engineers. At the same time, to know more about what a data scientist care about is good, but already a data scientist and a data analyst are doing their role. So, but you can care about the data within a data engineer maybe rather more. Uh, I don't have a very specific answer for this question because it's not a right or wrong, but I do believe that a machine learning engineer should know a bit about those cloud systems. Um, I'm using a lot of pre-trained models. Yes, cool. As Paul, important to understand the underlying details and how this can affect the future. You know, like when there were, let's go back into the history. When there were no, let's say, TVs, it's good to know how to create a TV, okay, or a screen. But not everyone will be building this TV or creating it, but everyone will be using it, right? This is the same thing for those models that are now LLMs models that are ready now, even the pro version or the free version. Uh, if you are a data engineer, why should you care about the algorithmic side of those models? Unless you want to just to learn for the sake of knowledge. But you must know how to use them. This is a must. Because it will simplify a lot of tasks for you. Data mining, why you are nervous, Sahar? It does not disappear, data mining. But yeah, why? Who said that it's disappearing? Like it's data mining. All the data roles are using the data mining. If I plan to be a data engineer, do you think that I need to learn about AL and ML? You should learn about data engineers. Like you should take a course about engineering. Do not care about the rest for now. A course or a master or whatsoever, a certification of about data engineering. 14 minutes left. Yeah, if there is no question, we are over actually. I was able to deliver something fruitful for you. Thank you all for the session. Thank you for your questions and interest and even attending. Thanks for the organizers for inviting me to have this talk. And for like, if you have any further and you are a question, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Okay, so uh, should I do anything? Are you waiting from me something, dear organizers?
Thank you, Samer. It was very interesting.
Most welcome. Thank you for your invitation
You're
and
welcome.
hope you all the best. Go ahead, Farah. Next question. I have 3 years of in infrastructure field, which data. Infrastructure, you mean like civil engineering? Farah, go ahead, write your question. But Asma, you mean civil engineering or what? System engineering. Okay. And you want to make a shift in your career? Okay. And you are asking which of those four data roles fits best with your profile, right? Great. May I ask you something? Like, let me ask you something. Yes. I want you to do two comparisons so that you will decide. I cannot tell you which one fit best with your profile because I don't know. But I can suggest two things. The first thing is to uh, you can go to Zaka's website or any other website. Okay, so I'm not doing a advertisement now, and to check the syllabus for a certification in those four. The syllabus for the machine learning engineer certification, the syllabus for the data science, data analyst, and data engineer. So check the syllabus, compare between them, see which one you prefer. This is one. Two, go to LinkedIn or to any platform that is putting a job offers. Search for a position in data analytics, in data science, in data engineer, and in machine learning engineer. And check the duties. What will be if you will be? So you are just like doing a projection of Asma in the future. If you will be a data scientist, will you be happy with those roles? If you will be a machine learning engineer, will you be happy? And so on. So by doing this comparison, you can take the right decision, I'm sure. Make real world projects. I failed to use this knowledge to know which model should I use, and it turns to be only using grid search. Actually, this is one of the things for the fast learning now. Um, we needs in general in the word more hands-on when giving any learning materials, more learning, more hands-on, more challenges, real life challenges to be submitted along with the learning phase. This may help a lot on how to use those scientific, if we can say, algorithms into real world and how to approach it in the right way. Farah, we are still waiting for your question. If I'm cybersecurity, to what level should I learn in data engineering, and which track would be effective for cybersecurity? Please recommend me courses too. I'm not sure that I can recommend a course in this in the conference because it will be like an ad. But as a cybersecurity, uh, so you will have, oh, okay, like it's really correlated with data engineer, but you should not directly decide to go for data engineer. Okay, so I'm just saying something that a data engineer needs data security, but not all the time. He needs to make it once and make it secure, and that's it. Uh, but all like whole company where you have a data, you need a cybersecurity knowledge. So let's put if you want to shift your career. However, I'm not sure that you don't like the cybersecurity or you want to shift your career or what. But do you want to shift your career, Farah? Okay, anyway, I cannot recommend you to shift your career unless you want to do it, unless you are not happy with what you are doing now. But if you are happy with the cybersecurity field, please keep on it. The percentage of being hired after getting enrolled in a cybersecurity is around 100% overall. So why shifting? Unless you want to shift again, I'm not trying to convince you. Integrating AI in cybersecurity. Yeah, okay. So this will come later. those data roles are using a bit of cybersecurity knowledge to secure this data process, okay? But as a cybersecurity person, to enhance the cybersecurity using AI, actually, I have never thought about it. So I don't know how to use AI to enhance or to ameliorate the cybersecurity things. Automated detection, for example. Okay, so yeah, so if you will do something like this, it's between data scientist and machine learning engineer. If the example that you give, automated detection, is even a machine learning engineer or a data scientist. Clear, Farah? You are welcome. Hope you all the best. Okay, I think it's over. Thank you all. Again, I have made this thanks 3 times, I believe, but it's okay. So thank you all, and it was great to meet you, all of you, and to have this discussion. Until see you soon. Bye for now. Bye bye.
Again, thank you, Samer. It was very interesting, and thank you everyone for attending the tutorial. We will have a break now and see you back 1:30.
Thank you. Bye bye.